This is the rhythm of the.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Star Flames and we're back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about some popular faces delivering their insight into the Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura trial. These people, they're inside the courtroom, they're getting first-hand experience, and one of such people is none other than Loren LoRosa from the Breakfast Club. Well-spoken, very articulate. Now, these people, basically, they were asked their views and opinions about the trial, what was a hit for them, what was a miss for them, and all of that jazz. And they're just basically sharing with us what they believe to be a hit, what was a miss, what they thought was good, what wasn't good, because actually they're seeing it, they're experiencing the natural, honest, raw reaction from everyone inside the courtroom, and they're dishing all the juicy gossips and all the details from inside the courtroom with us. And I do have something to say as well. So let's take a look at this clip together, and then I'll get back with the rest of my commentary.
Day 3 of trial, what do you think so far?
Right now, I think the prosecution did what they needed to do today. They did their big one, even though it's so weird because they did their big one, but it was so subtle. I feel like it wasn't the big explosion that I felt when Puff's team cross-examined the first couple witnesses.
Right now, I'm kind of in the middle because it somewhat seems like more of a domestic violence type of case versus a RICO federal case.
What I feel like this is going right now, it could go a number of ways. Unlike yesterday, which detailed a lot of like sexual abuse and a lot of specifics regarding the behavior with the escorts, today seemed to dive more into a lot of like physical abuse.
They laid the groundwork for some of the charges to stick, if I'm being honest with you. And I think that's in question right now. People feel like, oh, well, the prosecution ain't really got nothing. Cassie's testimony alone, and there's still so many people that I'm sure we're going to hear from, laid the groundwork for them charges to stick. I don't think they're going to stick the way that people think. Like, I don't think he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail, but he definitely going to sit down.
So far, it's a back and forth. What we have today now is, I think that the prosecutors kept this whole day for themselves. So then that's going to lead us probably into a 2-day cross-examination, most likely. And I think that now that could play into the defense's favor, because over the weekend, everybody in the jury is going to be thinking about what the defense said last on their minds.
I think the most damning piece of evidence that was shown was a lot of the photos with bruises all over Cassie's face, and having her kind of explain how those bruises happened. And I think one of the photos for me that stood out was the photo of the knife that she put in her door after her and Diddy broke up, where she said that Diddy made a lot of unannounced stops at her house.
But I personally think the most revealing one was in terms of like the bruises, and then at one point Cassie texted a photo of the bruises to Diddy and said, "I want you to know what you did."
So do you think that today, as a juror, if you were on the jury, that you would convict, or you have enough to convict?
If I was a juror today, I would convict him, but it would be, I would suggest a way lighter sentencing than what they're talking about. And I'm not fully convinced yet. So if I was a juror today, I would be leaning towards, okay, he does need to serve some time, but not what they talking about.
No, not yet. I would want to hear from Diddy's defense and see what their rebuttals are, and because there's a lot of facts that still haven't been shown yet.
I wouldn't be so fast to convict yet, man. There's going to be more.
But after I see the cross-examination of Cassie, I think I'll have a better feeling of like how I think the rest of the case is about to go. But again, she's one witness. She's a star witness, but she's one witness.
So I've seen you with the family every single day at court so far. What is your position with the family?
My position is family and a very close friend of Puff's.
Yesterday you were wearing a Free Puffy shirt. Do you believe that Puffy will be free?
Yes, I do believe he's going to be free. Yes, I do believe that. It ain't what they heard, it's what they didn't hear, right? They didn't hear any crimes, right? At least no crimes that'll put a man in jail like that. You follow me? What I heard today was domestic violence. I heard two consenting adults having a freaky situation with one another, and last time I checked, being a freak and being a voyeur is not against the law, and it's definitely punishable by no jail time. So I believe in this team, and they're strong enough to tell the truth. They're strong enough to get the truth. That's all we're doing. We're targeting the truth.
Now, I definitely agree with Loren LoRosa. I definitely think the prosecutors did their big one in such a subtle way that no matter what, Sean Diddy Combs will not be able to escape from this, at least not in its entirety. Some charges are definitely going to stick. Now, as it relates to, some of the talking points here is that they're not really seeing nothing much beyond domestic abuse. And that's the thing. You can be tricked into believe that this was just domestic abuse. No, this was sex trafficking. Domestic abuse, really, if you look at what domestic abuse is, it's not a thing that expands onto other people. While it doesn't always have the consistency of expanding onto other people. Cassie's experience expanded onto other people. Over 100 or more freak off, too many to count, too many people that she slept with. That goes way beyond domestic abuse and right into the territory of sex trafficking. That was literally sex trafficking. So you can literally see it if you understand what sex trafficking is. Now, for me, the thing that I'm yet to see being brought out in this case is RICO. You guys know that RICO charges are one of those crimes that Diddy is answering to. I know it's still the early phases, it's still the early stages, but you should be able to see some amount of connection to it. Besides his staff, taking away things from Cassie at his demands and basically or helping to organize stuff as to where the drug is concerned, the payment is concerned, giving her money, then taking back the money. You can see maybe, but you're not really, really seeing the RICO. And that's just my only concern at this point in time. However, as I've also said, it is still early. We still have some amount of time to go. And I want to see how the RICO comes into this. But definitely, I think that the prosecutors, they did their big one. And I think that Sean Diddy Combs is definitely not going to get away from any of this. So you can definitely see that sex trafficking, yes, it's right there. It's included. And anywhere there's sex trafficking, there is also human trafficking. So those charges of the sex trafficking and human trafficking, they're definitely going to stick with all the evidence being forced to, being in those freak-offs, even on her period, and with having like blood, this, that on the walls, and how she would describe, the high usage of substances and how she would have the memory loss, and it was so bad to the point where Diddy noticed that she had a memory loss. That man, I tell you, it's so crazy what this woman experienced. So definitely he's not going to get away with this. And as Lauren said, they did their big one, and they did it in such a subtle way that for a fact, if you're looking at the details, how they did it, that Diddy is not going to walk away scot-free from any of this. But of course, guys, this is not a one-way discussion, so it's your time to chime in. What's your take? While you're at it, share, leave a comment below. Peace.